Hey everybody, what's up? It's DJ here. Welcome back to the Chug Nerd YouTube channel. Today we're going to be checking out this, my Solar T2.7LN plus 7-string guitar. Let's check it out. Okay, like I said, my name is DJ and this is the Chug Nerd YouTube channel. I'm very new to YouTube. This is only my second video and I wanted to get a review of my beloved bright lemon yellow Solar T2.7LN plus guitar. This guitar probably means the most to me sentimentally. It was a gift from my wife, my little girl, and my mom about 3 Christmases ago. Christmas 22, I think, is when I got it. And I've loved it and used it and played it heavily ever since. It's held up really well, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later in the video when we check out kind of my pros and my cons of this guitar. Before we go any further, I just wanted to let you know this isn't a sponsored video or anything like that. This is my own guitar. Nobody's paying me to do this video, so all of these thoughts, all of these opinions, they're my own for whatever they're worth. It's just my take on this guitar. Alright, I reckon now's a good point to check out some specifications for this guitar. So without further ado, this is my Solar T2.7LN plus 7-string guitar. It has a mahogany body with a thin maple neck with an ebony fingerboard. It has 24 super jumbo nickel frets over a 26.5-inch scale length, a set through neck body construction with a fast thin neck profile. We have Solar's own brand 18:1 ratio tuners, a string through hardtail bridge, a PPS nut, a 5-way blade switch, and Duncan Solar Plus Alnico 8 pickups. For all the playing sections you're going to hear today, I'm going straight from the Solar into my MacBook via a Focusrite Scarlett Solo version 3 interface, and then we are plugged into the Neural DSP SLO 100 plugin, which is one of my favorite plugins. It kind of does everything I need it to do for the noises that I like to make, and that is just going straight into GarageBand. Nothing fancy. I do everything on a shoestring budget, and GarageBand does everything for now that I needed to do. Alright, let's check out some pros of this beautiful guitar. Let's talk about the things it does really, really well. So I think first things first, the first thing I fell in love with about this guitar is the color. Lemon yellow, although weirdly a lot of people say it's green. I go with yellow. It's like a super fluorescent yellow. I don't know how well it's going to pick up. I do all my filming on a iPhone 15 Pro Max and a GoPro Hero 8, so how well that picks up I don't know, but I've always kind of considered it a real solid yellow color. But I often put a poll up over my Instagram. You can find me at chug_nerd on Instagram, by the way. I always put polls up when I put this up, and I always say, is it yellow, is it green? And it's really 50-50. Some people say it's green, but either way, I love this color. It's a really kind of different color for the kind of music that I like to play and I like to write. Usually, you know, everyone plays black guitars or dark guitars, so I think a bright yellow fluorescent guitar is just kind of a bit different. And man, does it pop out on stage when we use it on stage in my band, HollowKin. You can check us out on Spotify and everywhere else. The color is what really drew me into it first and foremost when I first fell in love with it, and I got this right after launch as well. So yeah, I've always enjoyed the color. The pickups on this are wicked. They are really hot, but they're not so hot that they're overwhelming. For passive pickups, they are kind of strike that perfect balance between giving enough for the kind of style of music that I play, which is that heavy, driven, modern metal kind of tones, but it also means that when you strip it back and hit positions 2 and positions 4, you get such nice, jangly, kind of clean tones from this. It's beautiful. The pickups are fantastic. I've never thought once about changing them out for anything else. I think these are wicked good pickups. Really like these pickups. Probably the main other two things I love about this guitar, the frets are beautiful, they're massive. They came with some issues, which we'll get to in a little bit when I talk about some cons of this guitar, but the frets for the most part are really, really good. Super jumbo frets, they are absolutely massive. They're easy to grab for bends, they're comfortable to play for the low chuggy bits that I like to do. They're really good frets. They came really nicely dressed on the edges as well. There's no sharp snaggy bits. And that kind of leads me to the other main thing that I love about this guitar. The ergonomics are fantastic. The upper fret access is crazy with that that kind of sculpted heel joint at the back there. It's just seamless. Getting all the way up to that 24th fret. It's easy peasy. It's the guitar ergonomically is great. It does suffer a little bit from neck dive. It is quite top heavy. Again, I'm going to come into that when I come to the cons of this guitar, but for the most part, the ergonomics with the belly cuts and all the cutaways at the top here, it's a really easy guitar to play. With all of that being said, there are a couple of negatives that I want to bring up because I want to keep this review fair and completely honest. The neck dive is a bit of an issue, so when we play live or when we're rehearsing, I have to make sure I use a leather strap with this one, which is fine, that's no problem, because if I use like a nylon strap, you do just have to be aware that it is going to tip while you're playing, and it is quite bad. It's not SG levels of bad. The leather strap stops that from happening because it kind of catches on the clothes. Yeah, a nylon strap is useless with this though. And that kind of comes on to another one of my negatives, and it might seem like a silly negative. If you're just a bedroom guitarist or someone who doesn't necessarily ever play live, then it wouldn't really be a thing that you'd recognize as being a thing. But for me, it's really long, this guitar, and it probably seems like a stupid thing to bring up, but you know, it's a thing, so I thought I'd bring it up. A 7-in-line headstock isn't my first choice of a headstock because it is long, and a Solar headstock is big, and it just is a long guitar. And there's been a few gigs that we've played in my band, HollowKin, check us out. There have been a few gigs that we've played where I've just gone, do you know what, I'm not going to fail on stage without poking the eye out of my bassist stood next to me with this guitar, and I've had to choose another one like my PRS or my Epiphone or something like that. But it is long, and I just have to be conscious of it when I'm playing live because it is big, and because I'm glued to a microphone, there's often times on stage where I'll sing some backing vocals and I'll pull away and kind of pull back like this, and I don't think about it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take someone's eye out with it. It is long. It's not like a negative, it's not a positive, but it is a thing. Again, I just wanted to bring it up. The Solars are big, and with that 26.5-inch scale length, it isn't the same size as a normal guitar. It is quite a big guitar, but anyway, whether that's a thing for you or not, might seem like a silly thing to bring up, but here we are. The only other thing that I really wanted to bring up was the quality of the guitar when she arrived with me. Now this is an $899 guitar before import tax. So all in all, it sets you back just over $1,000. It's not what I would call a cheap guitar. It's not a budget guitar. It's definitely in that mid-tier price range. And I think for that price range, there's a certain amount of care that you should be able to expect with the guitar when it arrives to you. And when I got this, bear in mind it was right over Christmas, it was unplayable, unfortunately. And the reason it was unplayable is it has some really high frets. They weren't set into the neck properly, they weren't finished properly. It wasn't a issue that I felt was worth contacting Solar about, sending all the way back to Spain, getting a replacement sent out and all the rest of it. I think I did bring it to their attention at the time, but I think I said I was just going to sort it myself. The difficulty was, being that it was Christmas time, is my luthier, Mark, shout out to Mark of Will's Guitar Repairs, he's a top man when it comes to guitar repairs and maintenance. He was on a break for Christmas. I didn't want to be bothering him with this, so it did have to sit just kind of in my office, in my little guitar room for about a week and a half before I could get it to him and get it fixed. It wasn't a big problem, it just needed some attention, some care to the frets, but it was frustrating getting a brand new guitar in that kind of price range and it not being okay to play straight away. Like if I bought a car and as soon as I got the car I had to give it to the garage to fix something on it, even if it was a small thing, I don't think I'd be that happy. It wasn't a deal breaker and I still love the guitar, and once the frets had been sorted, like I said, it is amazing. It's a great guitar, I love so much about it, but that was a thing when I got it, and again I just wanted to bring it up that it was a thing, so do with that information what you will. I have had 4 solars before. So I've had this one, I've had the Strat version of this one in the same color. It was the A2.7LN again, but it was the Strat pointy version. I've had a AB 1.6 and I've had the A1.7 Evertune model. None of those issues were present with any of those models. They were all flawless. So it probably just was a one-off thing. So I wouldn't hold it against Solar. I really enjoy Solar guitars and I would happily buy them again. They're really nice guitars. But it was just, again, it was a thing that was on the guitar, so I wanted to mention it. I think overall, if I was to summarize this, the positives of this guitar massively outweigh the negatives. It's not a guitar I'm ever looking to move on or sell. It doesn't even cross my mind to do that. You can see now I'm holding it here. I'm holding it on the body so it doesn't drop. The positives of this guitar massively outweigh the negatives. There's going to be, I think, negatives with every guitar. I don't think anything is perfect because it's not, unless it's built for you and to your exact specifications, there's always going to be things that aren't quite right with it, and that's all these things are for me. They're all just things that they're not to my personal taste. But the positives of this guitar, I really adore playing it. I love playing it live because, like I said, it really does pop on stage. It's a really unusual color that you don't see many metal bands playing on stage for a guitar, so it really stands out nicely in the crowd. And more importantly, most importantly, it sounds great and it plays great. So I really enjoy this guitar, and I can definitely highly recommend Solars, either the 1 series or the 2 series. I'm yet to try an S-Spice Solar, but soon. Watch this space. So what do you think? What do you think of these bright yellow guitars? What do you think of Solars? Have you got a Solar? Have you had a Solar? I'd love to mix it up with you down in the comments section. I had lovely feedback on my last video, my first video, which was all about my Legator 10th anniversary Ghost 7-string. You can check that out. I'll put the link to that in the description below, and if I can figure out how to put it up here, then I'll put it up here as well. But like I said, I'm new to YouTube, so don't expect too much. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say today. I'd love it if you wanted to subscribe to my channel and follow along. I've got more guitar reviews coming, and I've just filmed an amp review and demo of my Victory Kraken amp as well, so that's coming up. Got reviews coming up of my Epiphone Les Paul Origins Matt Heafy Custom. I've got reviews coming up of my PRS Mark HollowKin SVN Mark II. There's loads coming up, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So if you want to subscribe, that would mean loads to me, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Thank you to everyone who drops likes and comments, and I will look forward to catching up with you down below in the comments section. You can find me over on Instagram. It's the main social media platform that I use. I don't really use any others. It's at chug_nerd on Instagram. And if you wanted to check out my band's music, HollowKin, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all the other streaming platforms. And you can follow us on all the usual social media channels as well. We are on all of them, including YouTube. So check us out there as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It really means a lot to me that you're here, and I appreciate you all. Thank you. Take care, everyone. In a bit.